What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Kind of Funny podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Nick Scarpino, alongside the second best baby blue eyes in all of San Francisco. And I'm going to say all of the Bay Area now.
Thank you,
I don't
Nick.
think it's
Thank
just
you.
San Francisco.
Expanding.
I've looked around. I've been to places like Emeryville.
Treasure Island.
I've been to Alameda. I've been to San Jose. I've been to Treasure Island. Is it weird that there's a place called Treasure Island, Tim? Does that ever trip you out?
It's extremely freaking weird.
It's
Kevin and I went
strange,
there
right?
like a month ago, and it's just like one of the weirdest places in the world. I'm going to pause this. I'll let you do the intros, but I want to get back to Treasure Island.
Let's get back to this. And of course, the Hispanic
So do
heat. It's the Hispanic hot dog, Texas Street Latino heat. I try to do it from memory, Andy. Never again.
Okay.
Clicking heads and ripping them to shreds. The Globetrotting headshot nitro rifle from twitch.tv/Andy Cortez. How's it going, Andy?
I am really excited to get back to the Treasure Island talk because I think we kind of briefly brushed over it several years ago, but it's one of those things where, like, as somebody who didn't grow up here, to me, Treasure Island, maybe they grew meth there, or there was like a drug operation, or land was
Oh man, I
seized.
can't wait for you to know the real stuff.
I don't fully know the story.
It's fascinating.
And rounding out the quartet, of course, making her return to Kind of Funny content, Mica Burton. What's going on?
Also, is it in Andy's contract that you have to announce him like that every time?
Yes.
We don't believe in contracts here. We take it on good faith that people are going to show up and that we're going to pay them. And I'd say once every 6 months, I forgot to schedule the payroll. And Kevin says, he texts me in the morning. He says, we didn't get paid today. I go, oops.
Whoopsies. Crazy.
That's a little whoopsie there.
I got paid.
It's because you're the favorite.
Yeah,
you are. Andy
Don't
is the
say
damn
that.
favorite, isn't he?
I will say, like, not only is he the favorite, but like his little intro moniker thing. It's like it was well written. Like that was an Andy Cortez joint, right?
Of course it was. Of course,
yeah,
it was.
and it worked, and it just works because there's the rhythm to it. So it's like it's one of those rare things where like some of the shows that I host, like I nail the intro, I remember everything I'm saying. Some of them, like I need this in front of me, but somehow I remember I could do Andy's thing from heart.
Look,
Texas
I'm willing.
Street, Latino heat, clicking heads, ripping them to shreds.
I'm willing to do in the future. You know how you'd always get like the long intro for Rugrats, and then sometimes they would shorten the intro. You'd get the abridged version of it. If y'all just from now on want to go Globetrotting headshot and nitro rifle from twitch.tv Andy Cortez, like that's in my Twitter bio, you know. But I was going for what would I do if I am talking to The Rock on WWE? That's what I was kind of going
That
for.
seems right.
You know, questions that we all ask ourselves.
Exactly.
Speaking of questions, ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't know, this is the Kind of Funny podcast where each and every week 4, sometimes 5 best friends gather around these microphones to bring topics for your amusement. We do this show twice a week now, once with just our podcast, and sometimes we and sometimes with really fun guests like Mica. And last week we had Jackie Jing, and one time we had Jerry O'Connell, and he did it from a park, and it was incredibly strange and wonderful.
He just does everything from the park.
He's very weird.
You see our new job on the Talk?
Yeah, he's on the Talk now.
The first male host on the Talk ever.
That's interesting.
I hope he still does it from the park. Because
I hope he does too. I hope he still has that weird, creepy handlebar mustache. Obviously, ladies and gentlemen, the show is brought to you by MeUndies, Canva, and Upstart, but we'll get to that a little bit later. Treasure Island. Do we want to talk about that?
I do. Real quick, Mica, do you have like a fun intro thing that you have?
I don't.
Or do you want to create one? Do you want to make one?
No, I should hire Andy to write mine. He's really good at it, apparently.
So Andy will not only write that for you, but because he is the favorite one and because he loves doing this on the spot, he will make a song for you too and sing it to you as a jingle, complete with this beautiful lyrical stylings.
Oh my God, that's so sweet of you.
When she's done with you, you'll be hurting. This is Mica Burton.
Whoa.
There you go. But I'll think of the song.
I was like, that's
it.
I think it's more, but that was more like a lyrical poem.
Did we like that?
So,
Is that
Mica, I don't know if you heard it because your face didn't react in a very positive way. Did you fully hear? Like, did I cut off? Or?
No. See, I heard it.
You heard it?
I heard it.
What was it? If she's
when you
hurting?
finish,
when she crosses you, you'll be hurting, or when she's done with you, you'll be hurting.
If you're a Burton, you'll be hurting because she's Mica Mad Max Burton.
Yeah. Is this your dog or your cat?
My puppy.
Oh, look at that little fucker.
Was it a poodle? Like a poodle mix?
Yeah, she's a toy poodle.
My brother has 2 poodles, and they are amazing. I'll tell you why. I didn't realize until the last time I went down to visit, which subsequently was a couple weeks ago, which is the first time I've gone down since COVID had. They are they don't shed, and they
No.
feel like teddy bears, and it's
Yeah.
amazing, Tim.
They're great.
Hasn't he had these poodles for like years?
Oh yeah, years. He's had multiple.
So how
ones
is
of
it
them.
you're only realizing that
I
now?
don't like to interact with them that much. I'll be honest with you. I've never really
That's
warmed to
not
them.
true. You
Perfect.
love
Look at
puppies.
this little
I've
face.
never warmed to his dog specifically until the last
Interesting.
couple times I went down. And this last time I was like, something's different. Because you know how sometimes like you touch other dogs and you get like the weird oily film on them, and then there's
Yeah.
hair all
Ugh.
over you,
Yeah.
and your
Yeah,
face is itchy
yeah.
for some reason. One of your eyes is
Sure.
like,
Allergic
goes
to
like
No,
dogs.
this.
I don't know that.
We were with you, and we just
And then it got real specific.
Yeah.
So it's one of
Pus
those
starts
things.
coming out of your eyeballs, and it's
Just
just like
you start just coughing up like phlegm and blood. This was the last time when I was hanging out with these dogs, and I was like, this feels just like very, very clean. They're very,
I
very
hate these dogs.
clean, non-oily, non-hairy dogs. And I've always loved these dogs. Obviously, I'm being.
They're also cute as heck.
They're super
Look at
friendly.
Oh
that
my God.
baby.
That
Look at
dog-
this baby. They're also the smartest dog breed. Sometimes terriers beat them out, but I think poodles are
I was
winning
gonna
right
say.
now.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, sometimes terriers beat them out, but she's like a Pokemon. She knows
What-
stuff.
What
Yes.
ranking list do you
Yes.
go
Much
to
like the skunk.
figure out which dog beats out the other dog on the Pokemon Smart Dog list?
I think you just Google what is the current smartest dog. It's kind of like how
Right.
University of Michigan and another football team that doesn't matter as much because they're not the University of Michigan.
Correct.
They keep getting into fights over who has the most seats in the stadium, and they just keep adding a seat and adding.
that
a
is
seat.
Oh.
amazing.
that's hilarious.
It's because we, the University of Michigan, are petty bitches, and we will always win.
No, I
So-
didn't want to pry.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I was like, I wonder if Mica went to the University of Michigan,
I don't know
or
what
if
would have
this
told
is
you that.
just
I don't know what would have
like a
told you that.
really big point of pride.
What
for
is
you
the
for
other
no
school?
reason.
I don't know, but they probably suck and don't have as many seats in their stadium as University of Michigan does.
You know what I would do? I would make smaller and smaller seats and just kind of rush and doll it.
Right?
Yeah.
Just keep putting
That's
them there.
That would be an interesting question. How big does a seat have to be to constitute a seat?
That's
Yeah.
a really good
Like,
question.
if it can fit a small child, is that still
that
a
count as
seat?
a
If it
seat?
can fit a dog or a cat, is that a
Right.
seat? Can we
If it
sell
can
that
count-
ticket?
I think it has to be
Apply.
sellable
Has
seats.
to be
That
sellable
would have
seat.
to count, you know.
But I mean,
And I
your
don't know
child
the-
can't
Your child
sit.
has-
Your child has to have a seat, right?
Yeah.
If it's past a certain age. It's like a plane, right? If your
Uh-huh.
child has to buy a seat if it's past like 12 or 13, something like that. If it's like
No,
I
I think
think
way
it's like
small. I think it's like 3.
Yeah.
three.
These fucking 11-year-olds are just.
The big ass 10-year-old is like, I'm sitting on your
Sitting
lap.
on your
Mom.
lap.
Yeah.
I'm
I
sitting
don't know
on your
why.
lap.
It's
I don't
a
know why I
lap
picture a
seat.
12-year-old like without a seatbelt at all, just kind of in the car, like
Just
spinning around.
bumbling around. I love, first off, in Andy's brain, you said car, which is amazing. Second off, did you in your brain, Andy, were they in space in 0G? Because in
Yeah,
my brain
like-
they were for a hot second there.
I don't know why I just picture like kids like needing car seats, but by the age of 12, like you don't need a seat. You could just kind of like
Mhm.
you exist
Right.
in that space, you know?
Yeah.
Mhm.
See, my brain went to you shove them in the overhead compartments first, so this is the difference between me and Andy.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, yeah.
They're just
Definitely.
Once you can't put them in overhead seat, you need to buy them a ticket. I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
that's how it works,
And
right?
on
Do you-
United, they charge you more. It's a whole
Yeah.
thing.
Oh yeah.
Now, do you travel with your pup when you have to travel places?
I haven't traveled with her yet because she just turned 2 the other day.
Oh,
so I haven't had her
wow.
that long, but I
Well,
hope
is-
to travel with her.
Was she like? Is this a response to COVID? Am I prying too much on this, or were you?
No,
like,
hilariously, we got her for Christmas, and then COVID happened, and we were like,
Ah,
interesting,
Mm.
interesting.
And now I'm in this
It's like
house
he-
with this dog,
Yeah.
the second smartest dog alive.
this dog's figuring out shit. At first, you were like, I was going to put this dog to work, but now it's hacked into your bank account, and now this dog runs you.
I just
You
Honestly,
guys are playing chess together.
This dog runs this household. Like my dad, when we first got our old dog when I was a kid, he was like, no dogs on the bed, no dogs on the furniture. I don't even want this dog. I don't even want who wants dogs. Of course, he buckled and started snuggling her and loved
Of
her.
course, of
When we got Reenie, he
Those are
didn't
my
even play
favorite
with that.
TikToks. That's my favorite
Right?
category.
He's
of
literally
TikTok.
that category of TikToks of like the dad doesn't want the dog, and then he's like holding an umbrella over its head while it's peeing outside.
Yeah.
But then he didn't even try the whole we don't love her routine with Reenie when Reenie got here. He feeds her caviar off of mother of pearl spoons. That's not a joke. It's happened. He gives her like sushi grade ahi tuna. He like snuggles her. If she doesn't give him enough attention, he gets sad about it. She runs this household.
I don't know why I pictured your very smart dog like barely turning 2 a couple months ago or whatever, and like glasses on, like on his or her laptop,
Her.
just looking I'm looking at a laptop and being like, "This Delta variant, it's not looking good." This is a very smart dog.
This is a very smart dog.
Johnson
She listens to NPR, you know, she watches CNN. Loves Rachel Maddow.
At the rate that this is spreading, this is not looking good for the country.
But then she puts the glasses down her nose.
Yeah, they're right here.
And she's like, but this does look good for extra cuddles if my family has to stay home. And then she closes the laptop.
Smallest nose possible.
That's a thing though, right? Like dogs are having big issues with people having to leave and go back to work, right?
Rini has been having fits. She's just now starting to get used to it. But when I left the house to go like take out the trash, you would hear where I'm like, oh my god, is she dying?
Howls. Oh,
right. Yeah. I was gonna say that my roommate's dog. I don't know if you've met Barrett yet, Mica, but he's a worker here at Kind of Funny, and he and his girlfriend live with me, and they bought a dog, and she went back to Hawaii, back home for a week or whatever, and it is the end of the world for this dog, Lulu. She lays on the couch a lot, always looks depressed, kind of mean a lot of the time. I try to go up to pet her, she'll like get mad at me, like, all right, chill out, I won't do anything. No. But with Alyssa back in Hawaii, she stayed in bed, or she stayed on the couch rather, and would not go to the bed. And like Barrett was there, like, come on, go to bed. And it's like Barrett was like, dude, she was not accepting. She figured like, if I go to bed, I'm giving up on her. Like this is
loyal to the end.
Dude, it was so sad, and she's still sat on the couch. She's so bummed out right now.
On the couch to this day.
Well, dogs, they're loyal to a fault almost. I had a longest work day that I ever had since COVID started, and Rini apparently went into my room and sat on my bed and refused to leave because she was like, "This is where my mother used to be." Mm-hmm. She's gone now.
It's been my experience. I don't have a dog now, but I've had multiple dogs over the years. It's always been my experience that they pick one, and you're always the favorite. Yep. So growing up, one of my dogs. Childhood dog. I shouldn't say childhood dogs. I got it when I was in college, but I bonded very well with this dog when I was gone, and so it was always like my dog. Loved my mom, hated my dad, and I don't mean like hated like okay, it was like a big problem, but it was just whenever my dad, they would let it sleep in the bed. He was a little rat terrier named Max, and he would snuggle up to my mom, be the cutest thing on the planet, and like kind of nudge in. And the second my dad would try to get into bed, he would get up and just fucking growl at him and like nip. Like if he tried to get it, if I was ever staying over there, I swear to God, I'd hear, "You little shit, get out of here." Come on. He's like, Elena, what is wrong with this dog? And my mom would just kind of giggle to herself because I think she trained it to do that. Now that it's actually starting to click a lot now, and I'm thinking about this and visualizing with you guys in these experiments. Before we get too far, though, I do want to thank our Patreon producers, Mark Johnson, Julian the Gluten Free Gamer, and Steve Powers. You are awesome. Through you, all things are possible. Right on. Did we ever talk about Treasure Island? Or are we going back to Treasure Island? Or are we just going to make...
I got so much information for you kids right now.
Producer!
Oh my God.
So Mica, if you don't know, are you familiar with what Treasure Island is?
I'm not, because at first I thought you guys meant Fire Island, and I was like, oh, I didn't know they hit up Fire Island. Interesting. Okay, I'm learning some new things about my guy.
I don't know what Fire Island is.
That's where the gay boys like to party.
Oh, got it.
Oh.
So I was like, oh, learning some things about my friends today.
If I were curious to check that out, what area would that know?
This is the it's the Bay Bridge connects San Francisco and the East Bay, right? Like Oakland and all that stuff.
Right.
The Bay Bridge is kind of made up of like two different bridges, it feels like. And in between those two bridges is Treasure Island. It's just this weird little island.
Hold on. In between them is actually Yerba Buena. That is the name of the island that is right here that I'm showing us on the map here, right?
Uh-huh.
And what happens is, in 1937, I believe, they...
You could literally have made any data and me and Tim would be like, yes, that makes sense.
Yeah, 1937.
In 1937, I believe.
And you were like,
Well, you gotta read it on the case.
They started the Golden Gate International Exposition, and they built this fake island. So they built this fake island to have one of these big old expos, which really weird, a lot of weird stuff with these expos where they build stuff like, look at this. This is what they ended up building, and then they destroy it all. Weird, right?
It's strange. They don't normally destroy the whole thing, right? Normally they build.
No, they do in a lot of places. In a lot of places,
Why would
they destroy.
do that?
I don't know. There's a lot of TikToks about it that are like conspiracy theory. You know, just think about it. Look into it. You know,
they built all that stuff on the Embarcadero. It's still there,
what
right?
are they
for
hiding?
the big boat race.
well, no, that's different. I'm talking about specifically the like World Science Expo or whatever.
Oh, like where they made the Eiffel Tower, but the Eiffel Tower still exists.
Yeah, all right. Some of the big ones staying around. Let's not
Okay.
What
fixate
about
those.
who made the Statue of Liberty? Let's go. Let's start there.
The
Let's
Statue of
start
Liberty,
with
that was the
Mother Liberty.
French to show off how much
And then
metal
who
they
made
could work with.
the Eiffel Tower?
That was the French.
No, I think
French.
I'm seeing a pattern here. I think
Okay,
I'm seeing
so-
a pattern here.
So the
What
French
we're
don't
saying
like
is the
destroying
French are
things.
aliens.
I think the French are aliens who've come to take over our expos.
Yep.
So after this was made, they were like, all right,
Can
well,
write that
there's
down.
none
That's
of
the headline.
Okay.
They tore it all down, and they were just like, all right, what do we do with it now? I don't know. Let's give it to the Air Force. And then somehow, like, the Air Force uses it to teach people how to clean nuclear
so loud.
waste. What? Oh, the vacuum? Don't focus on the vacuum. The kids, you gotta not focus on the
Kevin,
vacuum.
I'm
right?
listening to you, Kevin. I'm listening.
I'm listening to you, Kevin.
So they
It sounds
teach
like-
people, they taught people how to clean nuclear waste accidents on Navy ships.
That's what the
Right,
island's for?
well, that's what the dock was for. So there's a lot of like waste that got thrown around, and there's a lot of pollution issues. But recently, it's been refurbished. They've actually like torn it down and are rebuilding like half of it to make housing. So you want
Andy
to
has
buy
a
a house
question.
there? Yeah, Andy.
Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Mica. So when I'm driving through that bridge, that's Yerba Buena?
That's right. Yerba Buena indeed.
Really? So that's not Treasure Island itself?
No, Treasure Island is. You see, it's got a little appendage.
God dang. Yeah, a little hanger on. You gotta
Right
get that
there,
removed.
Yeah.
little guy. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's a
I didn't understand what you were
man-made
saying.
rectangle.
That's
Uh-huh.
a man-made rectangle.
And
I
now the
think mine were
weirdest
more of a
thing-
hexagon,
Yeah.
Looks like, you know what it looks like?
a regular quadrilateral.
It looks like one of those fancy crackers you put cheese on.
I love those.
Yeah,
the
those
ones
are good
that
ones, yeah.
parallelogram-ish.
Yeah.
I wasn't good at math.
Well, I mean, yeah, technically a rectangle is kind of a parallelogram, right?
True,
But
true.
I'm talking more than ones that are like they're like an oval,
Yeah,
and they're
but
kind of Ritz crackery, but like a bougie Ritz cracker.
it
You
has
know what I
like
mean?
the natural like seeds and herbs in it and
Yes,
stuff. Yeah, those are
yes.
super
And you're
good. Those are
like,
super
maybe
good.
I'll put a little brie cheese on this. And everyone's
Mhm.
watching you, Mika. So you're like, I'm just going to put a normal amount of brie cheese on this. And then when no one's watching, you just
You-
eat the brie
Oh,
cheese.
Nick,
the
you
brie
I
gotta-
do that
cheese.
all the time.
You got to
I do
push
that all
through
the
that,
time.
Nick. You got to
Yeah.
push
Yeah.
through this.
And guess what you put? Guess what those crackers are used for? Charcuterie. Charcuterie. The French.
Charcuterie?
Oh shit!
my
It's all
God.
connected.
It's all
it goes all the way to
connected.
the top of the Eiffel Tower.
Oh my God.
Wait,
Well,
so this is what it looked like?
At one point, yeah.
This is insane.
What?
I
Look
didn't
this.
even know
That's what I'm
anything about
saying.
this.
There's some weird shit going
Wait, but
on.
then why did they just tear it down? That looks like
I
Disneyland.
don't know, but that's what they do with these international expos. They build like crazy sets and then tear them down. Have you guys not seen the TikToks?
Well,
This-
No, but I have seen the one about the Wendigo, and I'm convinced that Wendigos exist now.
Oh,
They definitely
100%.
do.
Skinwalkers,
They definitely
call them what
exist.
you want. They're,
Yeah.
so do-
no, thank you.
So do Bigfoots, apparently.
Dude,
Yeah.
this looks like
This is so
fucking
cool.
Asgard or something.
Yeah.
In that
Yeah.
earlier. What?
No, wait. All these buildings are not there anymore?
No. So that's the weirdest
bananas.
thing is like now it's so sad because it's like San
Almost like
Francisco is very
warehouses now,
small
right?
but very dense. Like we just don't have much land here anymore,
at
right?
this.
Like everything's taken up. But then there's this island that's just right there that is just nothing but unused space. It's just a bunch of giant warehouses. And like for so long, in like the 90s and early 2000s, there would just be like crazy raves there. And that's all that was on
Yeah,
Treasure Island was just insane raves in these abandoned buildings. And then a lot of fires happened. A lot of people died. Shit was bad. 'Cause
Oh,
it
God.
was like a lawless land over there. It still
This
kind of
is
is. And they're
why.
trying to reformat it. But it's
But
like,
yeah, like right now, I'd say a good 40% of the buildings that you're seeing here no longer exist. And it's just dirt lots that they're building stuff. And there are a bunch of warehouses over to the right. But it's weird. Like
That's
these
so weird.
expo things.
It's weird. At
So-
one point,
something's going
too,
on
the
there.
whole island tried to float away, but thankfully
Wait,
it was tethered.
what?
I'm joking. That part I
Yeah,
just threw in
he's
there.
joking.
I'm
You
just seeing if
can't just
everyone was
say
paying
shit like
attention.
that because like I'll believe you.
It tried to float. It got all the way to the Golden Gate and had to turn around because it forgot its keys. This is amazing. It's funny because I've only ever been there one time. I went there one time for an event at IGN, and I was like, "This is weird." And people live on Yerba Buena. They live on the actual islands, like houses and stuff there.
Oh, really? Yerba Buena has nice houses.
It's strange though. Like, why would you want to live in the middle of the bay where you are like
kind of like,
this is the stuff they're building now. This is Yerba Buena, like luxury houses.
I want to live there, but I can't afford that.
If you don't, you have to live in a place that has a name like the Bristol or the Flats.
The Bristol.
Dude, I would love if like, hey, this house costs fucking $4 million or whatever, and you pay $5,000 a month or whatever because it overlooks all this beautiful area, and the houses that overlook Treasure Island, $300 a month. That'd
be amazing.
Treasure Island's very sad viewing, so yeah, we're gonna charge you a lot less.
Sadly, I'm guessing that all of these houses are ridiculously expensive no matter what.
Oh, absurd. Yeah.
It'd be weird though, because like I don't like crossing bridges. That's one of the things that like the SoCal in me was like bridge tolls. Are you kidding me? Forget about it. Now, of course, Mickey, you'll know we'll pay an ungodly amount for fast track just to skip 5 minutes of traffic in LA whenever we possibly can. But a bridge, to me, crossing over, having to pay $5 for a bridge or actually now I think it's like $8, is just absurd to me. I hate it.
But $8 is ridiculous. That's so much money.
That's
like
the
bridge
now, right?
The bridge is built, you know what I mean? And
they
didn't even do a great job building the new one.
They always talk to me about upkeep, and I say to them, I'll drive out there and sweep the thing. For
$8. That's what you say.
Go out there. I'll paint the thing right now.
I'll do it.
Actually, you know what was funny? Like I hated. Andy, you'll appreciate
sweeping.
This. I hated about 5-6 years ago. They switched over to now they just take a picture of your license plate and they send you the bridge toll in the mail, which makes a lot of sense. But how many times did idiots like me go over the bridge? And then when I came back, was like, I don't have $5. I don't have the money.
Oh my god, it's the worst.
I don't have cash. You have to pay cash. So I'd get in the cash lane and be like, I can pay. Reach in there, $4. I'm scrounging through my little change bucket to try to figure out if I have enough quarters to get through.
Is that the sort of thing they forgive?
The anxiety that rushes through my body when I drove over here to move to San Francisco, and I am like calling everybody. I'm calling Tim. I'm calling Kevin. I'm trying to get the lowdown on what I need and who I need to talk to. And if they ask you if you live here, say yes. Like, I don't know. There's all this sort of weird shit that's happening there. And I am so terrified and gripping these fucking quarters like it's my long lost child that I'm saving from a stranded boat or some shit like that. Because like if I drop a coin and it falls, like I'm screwed. I gotta go back to Texas.
Yeah,
no going back. I mean, that's the craziest thing. Thank God, like Nick was saying, they fixed this where now they just send you a thing in the mail and you're totally fine. But if you didn't have the cash, you would get sent something in the mail, but it would be something that was 10 times the charge.
It was like a ticket.
Like you get a ticket, it was literally like $50 charges for freaking
you didn't
crossing
have
a
a
goddamn
quarter.
bridge. If you didn't have the $5 or whatever, and they didn't accept card, they didn't accept anything, which I understand because they want to keep motherfuckers moving.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like come up with a better process then, which thank God they did. Thank God they did. So I can't complain too much. Going across bridges now, not that bad.
No, it's great now. Golden
But
Gate.
it's still
also,
$8. That's like
it is still
more
$8.
than a Starbucks.
Here's what I'll recommend: get married, and then your wife pays them, and you don't have to pay them. It's great.
Oh,
nice.
Gotcha. I get your logic there, Nick. Where it's like she sees the mail, she pays for it. You don't see it.
To me, they're
free.
free.
You don't pay for anything.
To me, they're free.
All right.
Once a month, my wife goes like this: "Hey, we got to talk about these tolls. You got too many tolls." And I'm like,
why are you
"Tolls?"
crossing the bridge so much?
And then I go, "Oh, I cross the bridge all the time for comedy stuff. Like I'll go over to Oakland and do stuff like that."
Tolls? I thought you mean whole.
Oh no, tolls. And I'll go like this: tolls. That makes me think of Toll House. Cookies. I'm cute. Let's get cookies. And she goes, all is forgiven. You're so charming, Nick.
That's adorable.
That's how it works in this car.
And everybody send her this clip.
Yeah, no, trust me. We've been together almost 13 years now at this point. She is immune to all of my BS. She knows it.
Just to wrap this up. This is
we don't need to wrap it up. We can talk about Treasure Island all day long.
I'm just saying this is kind of what this area looks like, where clearly this bottom C building and then the two big ones are leftover ones, but mostly bulldozed. It's weird. And I think this is what their plan is.
Oh, skyscrapers.
First off, that's baller. Second off, Tim, I'm going to say call an audible. It's not too late.
Yeah.
We can probably get 10,000 square feet of empty warehouse space there. Do you want to move the Kind of Funny studios, the spare bedroom over there now,
the whole
just
island.
ditch out of the one that we have?
I would love that. I mean, now, dude, I'm just so impressed that they called it Treasure Island. It's like ridiculous. That is such a dope ass thing for what this is, which is not that cool.
A treasure. It's not a treasure island.
Not at all. It's like there's no Muppets there. I don't even know what's going on.
I was hoping when you talked about Treasure Island, it was going to be some sort of like theme park in the middle of like San Francisco. But this is really a letdown.
Yeah.
Now, hear me out. what if we take it upon ourselves to build a Treasure Island theme park there?
I love it. I love it. We just gotta call the
Patreon?
right people.
Now,
Now-
Mica, check this out. You
Yeah.
thought you're disappointed by the idea of Treasure Island because you see what it is, and obviously it's not some crazy theme park.
Uh-huh.
I thought that just the residential area of Yerba Buena was Treasure Island. I'm like, why did they call this place where people just live? Families are just kind of living here. Why is this called Treasure Island? Like, there was a lot of miscommunication in this sort of creative work behind this.
Now I can answer that question for you. It's because Vin Diesel had a hand in naming it, and family is the real treasure. Thus,
Wow.
Treasure
100%.
Island.
You gotta love it.
This
You
is
gotta love
you are normally, Mica, we save the Patreon questions for the end of the show, but you guys are hitting on all of the things. We are just simpatico right now. We have two Patreon questions. One comes from the Chris Pairing from Sydney, Australia. Top of the morning to you over there in Sydney, Australia. It says, what IP would you take and create your own theme park ride from? You mentioned potentially putting a theme park on Treasure Island. Let's brainstorm that for a hot second. And then I have another question from South Bay Adam that is going to be a follow-up to that because I think I know the answer.
Now, you know the answer because I already said it.
Yeah.
Fast and Furious theme park, baby.
Yeah.
I'm
But
sorry.
you've got to do it right, though. Not like Universal Studios bullshit.
No. This is a section of each section of the park is dedicated to one movie, which means that in the movie one part of the park, you can only eat tuna sandwiches.
I love it. How is the tuna?
Bad.
Same as it always is.
Bad.
Same as always is. It's bad.
He's going for the tuna, and the tuna's not good.
And
Now-
it's just you gotta correspond. And the first section of the park is like that's where you warm up. It's kind of boring. You're talking about VCRs and tuna, and then by the time you get to Fate of the Furious, just fucking in stealth planes.
Yeah.
Got to make that happen.
It could be like
somehow.
Soarin'. It could be
Yeah.
Soarin'.
It's like
I
Soarin',
only
except you're
wanna
in
go-
Cypher's stealth plane.
Yeah.
I only want
yeah.
to go to Too Fast, Too Furious Land. I just want to be there.
You just want to
That-
be Too Fast, Too Furious Land?
Yeah, because
That'll be
Too
the
Fast
food
and Too
court.
Furious Land is just very, very like low key. There's really no pressure there. You're not really expecting too much from it. You can just
True.
kind of hang out, maybe jet ski a little bit.
Yeah. It's really
I love
that's
it.
also where most of the bathrooms are, is in Too Fast, Too Furious Land. But think about the Tokyo Drift Land.
Mhm.
Like
That
that
sounds fun.
ride, it's just you drifting around.
It's just people throwing up on their own shoulder because they just keep drifting the same circle.
It's so visual.
But like, how many times do you think you could drift it before you just go like, I gotta let this go. I gotta let this tuna sandwich from Fast and Furious One Land go.
Right.
Yeah, you got to do the parts to the right order, or else it's not
Oh,
going to
yeah,
be good for you.
yeah.
This Corona's coming back up.
Oh God, dude.
Oh God. Yeah,
Oh,
the only
everything's
drinks
Corona.
you can get are like lukewarm
Corona.
Coronas.
It's like
But, like,
everything is
but
barbecue
they
and Corona. That's it.
They still have like the condensation on them, but they're not cold anymore. Like
No.
at all. Like
No.
they kind of look cold. It's like, it's just kind of wet.
It's like,
Oh.
they hand it to you, it's just warm and wet. And you're like, oh, it's even worse. Why is it perspiring if it's not cold?
But then you have like face characters of everybody. There's like 4 different Vin Diesels that walk around and kind of
Yes.
mean mug you.
I love it. I fucking love it.
God, that's
I wanted to.
amazing. And
And
you're
I
not
want
sure.
like a phantasmic show. Like I want a fireworks show for Fast and Furious.
There's gonna be
Oh.
like a little operetta about how family is all that matters.
Yes.
Like it's gonna be good.
I'm trying to think of like what the rides based on
They're
Oh,
all
based on
cars
the
rides.
car chases.
They
Like
all
if
have
there's
to be
one
cars rides.
based on Fast and Furious 5,
Oh, no,
it's
but I
based
wanna-
on like
I want to do one that's like
train
just
robbery?
based on Luda. That's like maybe not even a ride. It's more of an interactive sort of thing where you're hacking, you're doing some stuff. Go ahead, Tim.
I got it. For the Luda thing, it'll be in the Too Fast worlds. It's just it's like a casino. You're betting. You're just betting on Nick's jet ski races. That's it.
Oh
You
shit!
know,
Love it.
maybe it'll
It's
be
a little
like
fun
the-
game.
Yeah, it's like one of the like Andy's little basketball things at the amusement
Mhm.
parks and stuff.
Mhm.
It's like exactly like that. But you're
That's
just
so
betting
cool.
on jet ski races.
Yeah.
And if you pay enough, like pay extra, you can actually ride the jet skis. You can be the ones in the jet ski race itself.
Oh,
'Cause-
I'm
go for
saying-
it, Andy.
Now,
dude, I have an idea for sort of a 4D experience, similar to when you might feel something near your legs, and you're like, ah, it's. But in Too Fast, Too Furious, when they put the bucket on your stomach because the rats are hungry and they're gonna knock through your stomach to get out or whatever. And there's something that they could do, like some 3D ride where on your stomach you feel like rats pitter pattering, and you're like, oh my god,
they have to put like a garter belt on you as you walk in.
Yes.
Please plug this belt in. You're like, this is going to be super fun. And then they very accurately recreate the feeling of a rat gnawing through your stomach. You're like, this is not fun.
You have the 3D goggles on, and it's just Nick walking up to every customer and poking their stomach a little bit, like just imitating the rat, because we can't afford all this technology.
We're not going to. I mean, we're already figuring out how to take jet skis to work here and stuff like that.
We're renting out the island. It's a lot.
So okay, let's as we're brainstorming on this, Tim, clear the mechanism. Everyone, close your eyes. You know, when you walk into Disneyland, you walk down Main Street. What do you smell? What do you smell, Tim?
A lot of cotton candy, just a lot of sweets,
popcorn,
a lot of happiness.
Churros.
Yeah.
When you walk down the main avenue or lane or highway of Fast and Furious Land, what are we smelling?
Warm Corona.
Baby oil.
Baby oil.
A lot of baby oil.
Sweat.
Burning
like
rubber.
A slight hint of marijuana. I'm not sure if I'm putting that
a
on Vin
bit.
Diesel or not.
No,
I think barbecue.
Thinking about Letty for sure.
Barbecue, true.
Barbecue.
Ribs.
Oh yeah.
Some ribs.
Oh, yeah.
Ribs are going on. I also, as a part of the 3D ride, as a part of the 4D ride,
thank you.
I want there to be a section where The Rock turns around and they spray you with water because it's his sweat hitting you, because he's so sweaty.
Yeah.
He is so sweaty in Fast 5.
There needs to be a lot of really tall, buff, bald dudes walking around this park at all times with absolutely no sleeves. In fact, I'm going to put it this way. Day one, if you wear no sleeves, you're getting in for half off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
I love that. That's a really good advertising. Also, don't forget we can have Han's snack cart where they just sell various kinds of chips.
Just the little chips that he's eating constantly.
Yeah.
So here's my pitch. We essentially were just copying Disneyland because like they did it right. Why doesn't everybody just copy them? Yeah. For Main Street, I want it to be exactly no more and no less than a quarter mile. It has to be. Okay. Yes. So you walk down.
Anywhere you go, it's be a quarter mile.
Instead of the Disneyland Castle, of course, it is the Toretto household.
Yeah, of course.
Obviously. And that's when you decide what movie you're going to for the different lands.
Oh my
God. For the
God.
Fast 4 land, I know it's none of our favorites necessarily, but the rides are going to be pretty cool. There's going to be this fun interactive one where it's kind of like an escape room, but you need to solve the murder of Letty. Where like you have clues on the floor and shit, and just like you need to kind of like use your detective vision to figure
some
shit
stuff
out.
Only like is revealed by black light or like there's a lot of cool little hints like that. Yeah, I like that.
Exactly. And then the other ride there is going to be an Indiana Jones style ride where you're just like in a really rickety like thing in the caves, and the CG's horrible everywhere. It's just the worst CG you could possibly fucking imagine.
And can that ride end with? And this can it end with you look over and there's another car next to you and Paul Walker's looking over at you?
Yeah.
The song.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Wow.
And if we can't get Paul Walker, we'll get one of his 18 brothers.
Yeah.
They'll be actually in the thing.
Okay. I like that.
And I'll throw this out there also. This place needs a Club 33. And in my opinion, the Club 33 needs to be the backyard of the Toretto house, where you, for like $10,000, you and some of your friends can go back there and barbecue.
Oh,
yes.
100%.
Yes.
That's perfect. Holy
good, guys.
And once a year,
fed.
Vin Diesel makes the barbecue.
Yeah, Vin Diesel actually gets back there to make, because he's got points on this, because Vin Diesel's like a billionaire, so he owns half this park.
100%. But before you get fed, somebody has to say grace.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah.
Well, whoever eats first.
Yes, whoever eats first.
But yeah, we don't tell anyone that. So if they eat, we go, you gotta do that, and then we don't bring any more food out until we force them to say grace, just like Dom would want to.
God, I'm just thinking of all the possibilities of having these 3D goggles on and having like the magnetized cars like flying across, like, and you're freaking out because like, oh shit, that car looked like it just flew across my, my face or whatever. And then I'm thinking about the zombie cars from Fate of the Furious and how those are just kind of like operated on their own. And Jesus Christ, dude, this is a $1 billion property.
Also, for 9.
Go for it, Mica.
I was gonna say, for also for 9, we could just go to Disney World, steal Mission Space, and then bring it back because technically it fits now.
Yeah, I love that.
Cosplayers, right? Or the people that are there that are, what do they call them? The
face characters.
Face characters. Which hair do we go with for Charlize Theron? Do we go with
Jesus
Fast
Christ
9 hair, or do we go with Fast 8 hair?
I think it switches up. I think make it a rare
day.
I think make it a rare event, Kevin, where maybe once a month she might do one hairstyle or the other, and it's kind of one of those, dude, I was there in the day that she was with the bowl
Dapper
cut
Day or whatever.
Yeah. On Dapper Day she wears the white girl dreads, but everywhere else she wears the bowl cut.
Yeah, I love it. I want to take a tangent real quick though, because I don't know if you guys have seen the news today about Vin Diesel and The Rock, which is unfortunate news for where it stands right now, but it comes with some really, 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 really funny quotes. Okay. I don't know if you guys remember, about a month ago, Vin Diesel was doing press for Fast 9, and when asked about his feud with The Rock, he said that he wanted to treat Johnson with tough love to get him to be the best actor he could possibly be, and it took a lot of work. We had to get there, and sometimes, at the time, I could give a lot of tough love. Not Felon-esque, but I would do anything I'd have to do in order to get performances. Fellini-esque.
Fellini-esque, yeah.
Fellini-esque.
Oh, I thought Felon-esque. I was like, what kind of tough love were you trying to give him, Vin Diesel?
Yeah, not Fellini-esque, but I would do anything I'd have to do in order to get performances in anything I'm producing, which is hilarious that this is coming from Vin Diesel. But then today, during a press junket for Jungle Cruise, so it's Emily Blunt and The Rock. The interviewer brought it up. Was like, "What are your thoughts on those quotes?"
No, don't start a rift, interviewer. God damn it!
And yeah, no, he fucked it up. But Andy, what The Rock says and what Emily Blunt says is so fucking funny. The Rock goes, "I laughed, and I laughed hard. I think everyone had a laugh at that, and I'll leave it at that. And then I wish them well. I wish them well on Fast 9. I wish them the best of luck on Fast 10 and Fast 11, and the rest of the Fast and Furious movies they do that will be without me." And then Blunt popped in. Thank God he was there. Thank God he carried you through that. And The Rock goes, Fellini-esque.
No, this isn't what I want.
I hate this, but goddamn, it's funny. I love that The Rock and Emily Blunt are just talking shit about Vin Diesel.
Well, it's because The Rock, and this is the thing I appreciate about The Rock. The Rock knows who and what he is. Yeah. He knows that he's out there. He's a mogul. He's making movies, he's got brands, he's having fun, and he knows he exists to be just a source of inspiration and entertainment for everyone that follows him. Vin takes himself a little too seriously for his level of talent, and we've talked about this a lot. I think he is a smart guy. I think he's got, obviously, the Fast and Furious franchise he's been able to turn into something amazing. But bro, let's not start talking about craft when we talk about acting in Fast and Furious. Like, no pun intended. Let's stay in our lanes here.
Yeah.
It's obviously hilarious, and Vin Diesel is in no place to be talking about any of this. The thing that absolutely bums me out, and I think The Rock needs a bit more self-awareness of, Rock, we love you, big dog. We love you, but no movie that you're in will ever make as much as a Fast and Furious movie. You need to understand that you need this franchise too, okay? Like, you cannot treat this like some fucking joke. And obviously the franchise is stupid and big and dumb and we love it. But dude, like Jungle Cruise will not, obviously, you know, theaters and all that stuff. We have to understand that we're in a weird spot with movies or whatever. But like Skyscraper, fucking The Tooth Fairy. I'm just thinking of like any random Rock movie.
The Tooth Fairy was Rock 1.0, okay? Rock has evolved to his final form now, and now he is Super Rock. So let's not talk about this.
But Skyscraper didn't do well either, and it wasn't good.
Like, exactly, Mica, and I think of any of the last movies that he did before that, they will never be on the Fast and Furious level in terms of box office.
As The Rock's official spokesperson, you're not wrong, but you're also not right. Because never will Mr. Johnson, or will I allow my client, Mr. Johnson, to be talked shit to from Vin Diesel about acting.
Here's the thing about that, bro. Is that I think that, I hate to say that I agree with Andy here, but I agree with Andy here. Because
thank you, Mica. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. It's because everybody on that set, even the writers, are self-aware of what Fast and Furious is. To the point that Fast 9 broke the fourth wall. They loved it. And we loved it. Mm-hmm. And I think that the only person that takes it seriously, and they just let him take it seriously, is Vin Diesel. And I think that The Rock needs to realize, just let him think that he's got it all on lock. Just let him be him. Because everybody else is laughing around him. Like everyone else is having a good time. Do you think Charlize Theron is there going, this is the pinnacle of my acting career?
Academy Award nominated Charlize Theron.
Right. She's there in a bowl cut as a hacker. And sometimes she's in white girl dress.
No. Let's just put, Mica, let's call that what it is. She's there for a very nice paycheck.
Exactly.
That is
what
she's
I'm
doing.
saying.
She does not care about Fast and Furious at all. They're like, you want to come back for another one? She's like, you're going to come back. We're doing another one of these? Fantastic.
Right. But here's the thing. And so if The Rock can hear me, if you can hear my pleas.
He listens to every podcast.
Just take the money and just pat Vin Diesel on his short, bald head and say, okay, buddy. And keep it moving.
Exactly. Thank you, Mica. I think
now it's hurting us, the Fast and Furious fans.
It's hurting because I'm so looking forward to after 9 ends. I go, you know what? Not as good as the newer movies. Like I didn't like this, but we placed it like kind of right in the middle of our rankings because I think 5, 6, and 7 are just so much better. But I think there was an obvious void of The Rock in that movie, and I think. And I'm scared, and I don't like hearing him say, have fun with the rest of the franchise without me.
Well, they don't like each other, though.
Not only will the movie be... but before this, Nick, before the whole Fellini-esque rift, before that happened like several weeks ago, there were a lot of reports of like, we squashed the beef. And I know we had heard that before, but it seemed like from both sides.
Rock squashed it on Instagram.
Yeah, we like, hey, we understand each other. Like, don't worry, guys. Like, we're all good now. And then this whole Fellini-esque bullshit had to happen, and that's Vin Diesel's fault. But The Rock just reminds me of a musical artist that is really popular because of the name, but then the album comes out and not a lot of people are buying it or listening to it. But will keep on getting hired because the name is so big, and The Rock will keep getting roles, and The Rock is going to be Black Adam in DC, and that's going to make a lot of money. But that's DC. That's not because of The Rock.
No, and I will say to speak seriously about it. I mean, The Rock, obviously, a lot of his stardom is anchored in his movie career, so it does not behoove him to start to keep turning out things that are, I'm not gonna say subpar, because I do think that like the Jumanji franchise was entertaining. I think he puts out entertaining movies, but Skyscraper was difficult to get through. I don't think I finished that movie, and some of the other movies he's been in Baywatch was. Let's just say could have been better with that deep lineup of talent that they had in that movie. With Zac Efron's abs, I mean, that movie could have been par excellence. But I will say, that's going to be a point where the Rock's movies start losing money, and it'll be interesting to see how he pivots from there. But as of right now, I mean, the guy's just making fists of money with all of the other stuff he's doing. I mean, the tequila brand, the Koa energy drinks. He's making a lot. I wouldn't be surprised if he's like well on his way to becoming like hundreds, if not a billionaire.
But all that aside, I can't think of many things in my life that I would be more upset about than The Rock not appearing in the final Fast and Furious movies. Like that would be such garbage. Like we're so close to just nailing this and having it be Nick perfect, fucking perfect.
I mean,
if they drop the ball. Over some bullshit male ego bullshit.
It's
gonna suck.
No, that's gonna because like we got Han back, and if we can't have Han back and The Rock and the whole cast and Mia came back, like if the more I think about it, the more angry this makes me. If their toxic bullshit squashes,
we'd have Ryan Reynolds, we'd have Kevin Hart.
Now, can I throw something out at you to just mellow out the
because I'm pissed off right now.
I'm up here. I need to come down here.
We have a piping hot drink in front of us. We need to drop a couple ice cubes in this. Just mellow it out so we can all sip it and enjoy it. There was a news story a couple weeks ago after Fast 9 dropped about how Helen Mirren said she would have kissed Dom. She would have made out with Dom in a scene, and it literally made my heart skip a beat with excitement. I'm not gonna lie. I was gonna say a little bit of jealousy, a lot of jealousy when it comes to this. On the hands of me rethinking all my life to the point where I didn't get to be in that movie opposite her. But the fact that she straight up is just like throwing out a little flirt to Vin Diesel in the media. Can we just add that to the win column for Helen Mirren? Can we just talk about that for a hot second?
It only has wins, man. Her and Sir Vincent Diesel out in the town.
Sir Vincent
Love
Diesel
to see it
with his
glasses.
You know what? Okay. I'm doing after some research, and looking into The Rock's portfolio.
The Rock makes. Yeah, he doesn't need it.
It's making the movies are making more than I thought they were. Now they're not by no means the Marvel sort of billion-dollar hits. Let's not go that far, but
Right.
they are making like 3 to 4 times what the box office are, and that
they make money.
That makes me sad because I was hoping that The Rock was doing worse off with with what these box office returns are. Because Skyscraper cost 125 million to make and made 300 million. Rampage cost 120 million to make, it made 428 million. Baywatch cost 65 million, it made 177 million. Mm-hmm. San Andreas cost 110 million, it made 474 million. Damn it.
Fuck.
Yeah,
I
was hoping they were barely breaking even. That's what I was hoping for.
No, they're making money. They're just good enough to make money, and I think he understands it. Like he understands that his audiences are people that love The Rock and then people that love action movies, and they do tremendously well overseas, like notoriously well overseas. So that's just going to be the way it goes. I honestly want. I shudder to think. And I'm going to say this, and I know I'll regret it. The Fast and Furious franchise has more nuance than a lot of the Rock movies, and I think that's why we all love them. But I just think the Rock just kind of goes like, he's doing his thing, like he's just doing what's going on, and it's working for him. So I don't think he needs to cow down to Vin Diesel in any stretch of the imagination. And I would actually go out and say the Rock is just the bigger star anyway. So what are you going to do?
He has to cow down, but I think for the love of the Fast and Furious fans out there,
the culture,
for the culture. He just needs to get over himself, and so does Vin Diesel, or they just need to get more money to shut up.
Mm-hmm. But to play devil's advocate, isn't The Rock bigger than Fast and Furious, Andy?
No,
not at all. Not even close.
Well, I mean, the Rock is obviously much larger than life, right? But when we talk about Vin Diesel, the thing that worries me, Mica, is like there's no telling Vin to get over himself. Vin doesn't think that there's anything to get over. Vin is very much like this
on the planet.
Vin is very much this the mind of an artist, where like this is my vision and I'm so creative, and you wouldn't understand the way my mind works because this is just how creatives are day to day. And it's like, Vin, you're not like you're not Daniel Day-Lewis.
I think you guys do not give Vin Diesel enough credit for his talents.
He has any talents.
Yeah, I just
really stand there with his arms looking like they have 2 logs under them really well.
I will say this. I think the majority of the supporting cast and a lot of the world building and just the silliness of Fast and Furious is why I love it. I think Vin Diesel's biggest strength is that he puts the heart into the series, and I think that's why he has to be the cornerstone of it, which is why it doesn't bother me so much if The Rock and him have a problem, because as long as we have Vin, and obviously if we could have kept Paul Walker, if Paul Walker could have been alive, that would have been amazing too, because those two to me are the heart of the series. The bromance between them, the family aspect of them is there. I had always hoped that The Rock would fill that void, but I just don't think I don't think we can force it. And so we'll have to wait and see. But we do have The Rock, Statham, and they still love each other. So that's two big bald guys over there that can bromance out a little bit. Maybe we'll have another Hobbs and Shaw. Who knows?
I did miss Statham in the movie in 9 as well. I liked his mom there, but there's something about having those big punchy fights, and not like Vin Diesel and The Rock, but or Vin Diesel and John Cena, but like there's something about The Rock's fight scenes that are just visceral in a way.
They're superhero fights.
Yeah.
It's like The Rock grabbing a dude and throwing him 30 yards in the air.
Like,
it's like that's
Vin
not
Diesel
real
did
life.
that. Like Vin Diesel did that in the last one.
But
like,
it's
remember,
not the same.
He fought 30 guys. And we all were like,
he pulled down he pulled a Samson.
It makes sense.
That chain could definitely pull down.
But there's a difference between the fight scene in the tunnel in 9 and the prison break scene.
The prison break scene.
The prison break scene in Fate and the Furious
one of the best
is like
action sequences ever.
Oh, thank you. Yes, 100%.
It's so good.
It is.
So
here's the difference, right? Obviously, the two have a difference in physique, but The Rock was legitimately an athlete coming into this. Don't forget, he played college football and then was a professional wrestler for a really long time. So his level of athleticism, and also he's 6'5" for Christ's sake. So watching him on screen like demolish people is slightly more believable than Vin Diesel. And
I don't know why you always have to bring in height.
Sell it that well in the movie. What's that?
I said I don't understand why you have to bring up his height. I don't get.
I don't know.
What part of the Tolly agenda are you in this?
I'm applying for the Tallies. That's why I've actually
denied.
I didn't want to tell you guys this, Kevin and Andy, and actually probably Mica as well. I'm just trying to get taller. I'm trying to get out there, do my best, and I believe in studying under the greats. And so if I could be
like
a mentor,
Vin Diesel, just kidding.
no, I mean,
No,
yeah,
no, no.
I think Vin Diesel's kind of how tall is
No.
tall
So
is
here's
Vin
the thing:
Diesel?
is if you watch any scene with Vin Diesel and The Rock, the forced perspective that I'm sure Vin Diesel insisted on is so ridiculous because that man is short and The Rock is tall.
All right.
Wait, no, hold on. Vin Diesel is above
six
average.
feet tall. He is 6 feet tall. That is a
Okay.
tall
Rock
man. All right.
Is a lot shorter than I expect him to be. He's
6'5".
6'5".
That's taller than Greg.
Greg Miller's 6'4".
He's a
like,
behemoth
there are
of
people
a
that are
human being.
6'7", 6'9".
Let's rein this back.
Michael Jordan is 6'9".
Let's rein this back. Vin Diesel listed 6 feet, probably 5'10". 5'11" maybe. The Rock listed 6'5", probably 6'3.5". We have to kind of always understand that whenever you see heights.
There's
on
so
the
few of
internet.
us, Andy, that actually don't lie about our height on the internet. You know?
I know, 6'2"
and I'm
here.
proud of both of us being 6'1", 6'2".
6'2"
Wow.
and proud.
Super fun.
Well,
You're
kind of a tangent, but not really. I did see The Rock IRL just 2 days ago
Did you really?
at my barn. His daughter rides at my barn.
Shut the
front door.
Did he seem really tall?
Is he tall?
Yeah,
Hold on,
yeah,
Travis.
actually.
all right.
Are we just gonna just be at my barn? She has a
Okay.
barn.
It's not my barn.
Hold
It's not my
on.
barn. It's where
Wait,
I
before we
ride.
hear about this barn, ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you about our sponsors.
This podcast is brought to you by MeUndies. MeUndies believes that your comfort is about more than what's touching your skin. It's about being comfortable in your skin. And when you're truly comfortable, you get a slam dunk kind of feeling, you know? That's right, MeUndies and Space Jam are bringing you new undies. Ladies and gentlemen, you know I only wear MeUndies. A long time ago, I found out how comfortable they were, threw away the rest of my underwear, and only buy MeUndies. I still do to this day. And the Space Jam one is interesting for people like Blessing. MeUndies' new Space Jam print features Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, and other iconic characters who are all tuned up and ready for a rematch. MeUndies are made from micromodal fabric, which is not only soft, but breathable, light, and impossibly cozy. Check out their new Space Jam collection in the softest undies, socks, bralettes, dog hoodies, and loungewear, available in sizes XS to 4XL. Here's your chance, do your dance, to score their new collection before the clock runs out. To get 15% off your first order, free shipping, and a 100% satisfaction guarantee, go to MeUndies.com/morning. That's MeUndies.com/morning. Up next is Canva. We've talked about Canva a lot, ladies and gentlemen. If you are making things on the internet and you need video, you need audio, you need Canva Pro. Tim's been using it. Roger's been using it. Nick has been using it. Anybody who's not just screaming into a microphone all day like me at Kind of Funny is using it to make our stuff better. Canva Pro is the easy-to-use design platform that has everything you need to design like a pro. Whether you're a professional designer or just getting started, Canva Pro can help boost you and your team's productivity and creativity. Canva Pro has everything you need in one place, including a collection of over 75 million premium photos, videos, audio, and graphics. Design like a pro with Canva Pro. Right now, you can get a free 45-day extended trial when you use our promo code. Just go to canva.me/kindafunny to get your free 45-day extended trial. That's canva.me/kindafunny. Canva.me/kindafunny. And our final sponsor of the day is Upstart. If you're carrying a credit balance month after month, it can feel like you're in a never-ending cycle of debt. Upstart can help you make that final payment so you can get ahead. Upstart is the fast and easy way to pay off your debt with a personal loan all online. Unlike other lenders, Upstart considers your income and current employment to find you a smarter rate for your loan. With a 5-minute online rate check, you can see your rate upfront for loans between $1,000 to $50,000. You can receive the funds as fast as 1 business day after accepting your loan. Find out how Upstart can lower your monthly payments today when you go to upstart.com/KFMB. That's upstart.com/KFMB. Don't forget to use our URL so that they know we sent you. Loan amounts will be determined based on your credit, income, and certain other information provided in your application. Go to upstart.com/KFMB.
Okay,
Before
let's
we
hear about
get to the barn, I just want to point out something really small and stupid that I wanted to bring up since we're talking about Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
If y'all know who Shea Serrano is, he's one of my favorite Twitter follows. He is a big NBA guy, but he's also just a Mexican from San Antonio, and he's just like every person I've ever known. And he works for The Ringer, which is Bill Simmons' sort of sports podcast empire / blog empire, whatever. Several days ago, on July 8th, he tweeted out bang. I just talked to the homies at UTSA, University of Texas San Antonio. We're paying off a full year's tuition for 3 students who are starting their senior year. We're about $31,000 total. And get this, we are calling it the Buster Brought Me Back Scholarship because of the scene when Vin Diesel says, he didn't just run back to the fort. The Buster brought me back.
Wow.
And then so you think that that's kind of just a joke. And then he tweets out on July 14th, the actual sort of official message from UTSA saying the Buster Brought Me Back Scholarship. I, Shea Serrano, hereby pledge to give her cause, give it $31,000 or whatever to 3 different people. And it's just so great that that's the actual name of a scholarship that he got named for the University of San Antonio.
I love that
That's
so
phenomenal.
much. They're so good. And Shay's podcast about Fast Five is one of my favorite podcasts I've ever heard. I've listened to the episode like 4 times in my life because it is
really
so fucking good. Like the love that they have, it rivals ours. And I appreciate that very, very much. But back to this barn situation, Mica.
Right.
What?
Wait, I thought we had sponsors.
No,
we'll edit them in later.
We stop for that. We'll edit them in later. Yeah, it's
perfect.
Whole rigmarole.
About the barn, yes.
The barn.
So I in quarantine, remembered that I used to be a horse girl as a child. And I decided, you know what's great about being a freelancer and being very lucky enough to have a little bit of disposable income. What if I had none of that anymore and I just put it all in horses? Mm-hmm. What if I just decided, who wants free time? Who wants to sleep in? Who needs money?
Yeah.
Horses.
Yeah.
And I've gone back to being a professional horse girl. So I ride 3 times a week. I lease a beautiful horse. His name is X-Man. I did not name him. He was just the perfect boy for me.
The coolest name ever.
You were like, what's his name? And he's like, my name's X-Man.
I was like,
nice to meet you. Hey.
Professor X.
I think it's because he used to be a racehorse. So his owner was clearly a nerd because his show name is Prieto, which sounds like Pietro. So I think that his nickname became X-Man.
Wow, that's cool.
That's badass.
And I compete in horse shows like a normal human being. But where I ride is like this small private barn in LA. So a lot of cool faces pop
famous
up
horses.
from time to time. And The Rock's daughter rides at my barn. I've never seen her. I've never seen her horse, but I've seen him and his tall baldness, and I'm like, that sure is The Rock.
I mean, undeniable, right? Like, I think I could probably spot The Rock just in his silhouette. I think I know. I've looked at every part of his body on Instagram so much that I think if I just saw half a quad, I'd be like, that's the Rock. That's DJ
that's
right
the
there.
Rock.
Yeah,
that is DJ right there, my friends.
Okay, so because I love the idea of you saying, you know, what if I just want to have no disposable income and just kind of fuck up everything and do something that I love? Because that's like, that's my dad buying his fishing boat.
Yeah.
And then being like, 3 years later, I need to sell this fucking thing because this is just like, I don't go fishing enough and this thing and that is always broken and shit. So when you're doing this, how do you, because Mica, I'm a child. Yeah. I'm a 33-year-old child. I don't ever know what I'm doing. I don't know who to talk to for whatever you need to do. How the fuck do you get a barn?
So it's not my barn. I don't. I go to the barn.
And then your horse lives at the barn. Yeah.
So there's like in LA, there's actually multiple barns, multiple places that people ride. And the place that I go, it's technically called a paddock. So there's lots of different barns in the paddock, and it's like this beautiful private property with like manicured lawns for the horses to go grazing and rings for the practicing with the jumps and mirrors in the dressage ring so the dressage riders can see what they look like and make sure
what is that word you just said?
Dressage. Paddock. It's when you or paddock.
Dressage.
I was saying Tim. She said horse.
You know when you see the horses kind of prancing.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's dressage, which is actually arguably one of the hardest ways to ride because you make it look so easy, but the ab, thigh, and sheer muscle strength that it takes to not move while the horses are doing that could rival The Rock.
Oh, wow.
Terrifying. Like, When you meet a dressage rider, they have 12 packs and they could crush watermelons between their thighs.
That's so sick.
Holy shit.
Yeah, they're all awesome.
Dude, I feel like recently there's been a lot of people getting into this horse stuff, a lot of cool people. You have been one of them. And I just love on Instagram, every time I see you guys, your outfits are freaking dope. Like that is like, it's worth the money you're spending and like giving up the rest of your life for being 100%. A horse girl. Cause you look rad with the little hat and the white
weird
pants.
Thing is, it's like kind of like with video games, everything that I used to do as a kid and I was relentlessly bullied for it is now cool. Like, people hated me for liking anime and video games and being a horse girl. And now they're like, oh, Twitch and E3 are mainstream. And I love horse girls. I'm like, where was this energy when you were kicking me in the face?
I'm not sure they're the same groups that are bullying.
Well, no, they were. They were like, oh, if you're horse girls, you're so weird. Like, why don't you go like have sex with your horse or whatever? I'm like, I'm just trying to like ride my right. Just it's an exercise. It's a sport. Like, I bet it's not a sport. Now people are like, I respect horse girls so much they could kill me with their thighs. And I'm like, yeah, we could. First of all. Second of all, where was this energy when I was bullied?
Wait, so is horse girl like an official term? Is that a thing that people say?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Horse girl is more of a state of being than a label.
I understand.
Yeah, Nick, there are horse girls, there are sword men.
Yes.
There are
car
dudes. A sword man?
There are like a sword man is just someone who like collects blades and is like, check out my blade collection. Like
I have this close. At any moment, he'll just become a sword man.
Oh,
yeah. He owns a sword now, but at any moment, it could happen.
Kevin's more like a leather man. That was
because of the Leatherman.
I carry a Leatherman everywhere, but it does make me sound like I put on a lot of leather.
It does.
Yeah, it's true. But Kevin, I'll never forget. Kevin's like, oh. And I'm like, what? He's like, and he had his Leatherman out one time. He's like, damn it, my saw blade's not in this Leatherman. Hold on, let me run to my car and get my other Leatherman.
Oh my god!
Comes back with another Leatherman.
That is phenomenal.
It's weird.
One time we were at Home Depot, we looked at Leatherman together. It was a very bonding experience. Sorry, Andy, go ahead.
It's weird because there's nothing really specific about, like, you wouldn't say, oh, he's a video game guy. You wouldn't really say that. It has to be a specific sort of hobby, like being an equestrian or being into like collecting blades and stuff like that, or like I'm trying to think of what the other stuff could be. A snake guy, maybe like you have.
Oh, I want to be a snake guy.
Snakes, like
there's also something specific about the energy of an equestrian that comes with being a horse girl, because when you think about what we do for a sport, is we trust 1,200 plus pound animals that technically are only listening to us because they want to, and riding them full speed, no seatbelts, at solid stationary 2 foot and mostly higher objects. Like my friend who's a professional show jumper jumps 1.40 m, which is like 5 foot something, almost 5 foot. And sometimes they're 5 foot tall and 5 foot wide.
Vertically. What the fuck?
Yeah.
That is fucking crazy.
Yeah, and you're on a horse that's really only listening to you because they want to. Technically, they don't have to.
Yeah. My wife used to do equestrian jumping, and when she was like 16, she got bucked off and broke like 2 of her ribs, and was like, she legitimately thought, like, because you can get stomped on a horse and like get crushed in half, and there was like fear of like, all right, is my like lower part like still intact? And she was fine, thankfully, but it's scary.
Oh yeah, I got bucked the other day, and I fell on my sciatic nerve on my on my hip. And it was pretty much just like I didn't break anything, so I'll be fine. Horse girls have no fear. We just have no fear. We stand behind horses when the number one rule is don't stand behind horses, and it's pretty much just like, if you're gonna kick me, you're gonna have to kill me, because if you don't kill me, I'm gonna fucking beat your ass. That's just our bond we have with our horse. We're just like brushing their tail, like, you better not fucking kick me.
Don't fuck with me, X-Man. The same bond that I have with Tim. I am sometimes tickling a little bit. I'm like, if you're gonna kick back, do it now.
Do it now.
You better kill me. Yeah.
Tickling.
I wish we had Greg's mom and Mica talk to each other about horses, because when Nick and I interviewed, Tim was not here for that, but we had Greg's mom visited San Francisco for the first time since like COVID and all that, a couple months ago. And we had her on the podcast, and she told us all about her horse stories and how she, like, this was her passion as well. And she's getting back into it now because she's kind of like, I fucking hate my day to day now. I just want to work at a barn. I want to like do this stuff because I've always wanted to do it since I was a kid, and she did it as a kid as well. Have you like is this something that you see yourself doing long term, or is this just kind of like I'm doing this for now? X-Men and I.
This is like the thing is, as I always have been such a hobbyist since I was a kid. You know, I had the very typical like Black parents that were like, "You're going to do every single hobby ever," and
What happened?
Wait, did we lose you?
The look of confusion on her face right now.
What's happening?
What are you seeing? She might not see us.
I don't know.
Mica, can you hear us?
I can hear you, but I also hear something else going on.
Oh, it might be Kevin's computer in the background potentially still playing something.
I don't think so.
I don't hear anything, but
wait, nobody else hears that?
No. What does it sound like? Does it sound like a horse? You might be being haunted by.
Oh my god, no! I had a stream up, and it was you guys talking. Scared the shit out of me. God. So you heard nothing.
No.
Anyway.
But we've all been there, by the way. We've all been like, what is that sound? And you realize
where
it's a
is that
YouTube
coming
video
from?
playing or something. Yeah.
No, but the worst thing though is when it is ourselves talking. Because then it's just like, wait a minute, what the fuck? Like that happened to me a couple days ago where Greg wasn't saying anything. Like he was just sitting there still like, and I heard him talking and I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Freaks you out.
I had the Kind of Funny website up in a different tab, minimized, and I was like, where is that coming from? Anyway, what I was saying was, as a kid, I used to do all the things I did, like the taekwondo, the violin, the piano, the choir, the ballet, the basketball, the volleyball, the cheerleading, the gymnastics, the theater. It was everything, you know.
But you weren't a taekwondo girl.
No, I wasn't a taekwondo. It was like one out of every 10
Tim, they call us
hobbies.
Karate Kids. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay.
I think it was one out of every 10 hobbies I really vibed with. But then I went to high school and I had to focus on getting into college. And then I went into college and I was a theater major. So I didn't really have time for hobbies. I really started to get into archery in high school, but then I went off to college and there was no range. So I gave up archery. When I moved to Austin, I got really into figure skating and I was good and I was going to compete. And then I moved back to LA.
Austin, figure skating.
The hottest place.
Yeah, I know. It totally makes sense.
Skate. Yeah.
But then when I moved back to LA, I couldn't find a coach that I liked. So I gave it up. I feel like I've never found my groove for something. And then finally I got back into horseback riding. And I shit you not, I had this moment when I was on the back of X-Man and we were having a really good lesson and he was listening to me and we were having fun and his ears were wiggling, which meant he was happy. And I just started crying because I was like, I've done it. I found the hobby that this is it. I found my thing. This is what I do when I'm not working and I feel like my mind is clear. I'm happy at the barn. All the girls that are at my barn are so nice. And we're the least dramatic barn because when we go to horse shows, everybody else is like really bitchy, like really bitchy, and we're sitting there just like we're just vibing. Like I don't know what's going on, and we're also the most diverse barn that shows up. Like we account for pretty much the entirety of the horse show's diversity when we show up. So it's like really cool to feel like that. And
that's good.
Our coach is like this badass Swedish woman who is like a mama bear, and like once you're her child, she'll like kill people. Like she cursed out another trainer on our behalf once, and we were like, "Oh God, we love you!" Like, yes, girl.
That's
like,
what Greg does for us in movie theaters,
right? Exactly. When you have that mama bear, you know they look out for you. I feel that, Greg. But I don't know. It's just nice. It's nice to have a place to go to feel like not only are you getting exercise, you're hanging out with horses, which is like therapy. It's like hanging out with dogs.
That's amazing.
You know, but
big dogs, yeah.
Wait, but how much pressure do you put on yourself to like excel in it? Is this when you say with the word hobby, but this sounds like a lot more like a passion? And do you have to rectify that with because you're a fairly driven person? Do you have to stop yourself and say no, this is supposed to be for fun?
I do have to do that because I have a complex. That's just me though. Like I was like I have to do good. I have to be good at it. But the thing about I think also about horseback riding, which is different than when I was trying to compete in figure skating, is even when you have a bad day, you learn something and you're still bonding with another animal. And if you're sad, they kind of feel it and they try and like make you feel better. So you never really have like a bad lesson. Even when I had a lesson that was so frustrating, I started crying. I was like, but it's okay because I learned something about myself. In figure skating, when I had bad lesson, I'm like, this sucks. I suck. I should never try this again. I should throw my skates away.
Right.
I am going to be competing in September and I'm really nervous because like I want to do well, but I also know I'm an adult. I'm an amateur. This isn't professional. I'm not going into the money shows. It's like half and half. I'm trying to tell myself it's yes.
If the three of us showed up with signs, is that uncouth? Is that not
No,
cool?
it is not, because you and Erica, Ishii, and Matt, Marisha also are going to show up with signs, because I told them about my horse shows, and they were like
one of the fingers is Mika's number one. Foam fingers, and then
it's like
just
a
have
hoof.
Andy spill his popcorn
I love
on.
it.
Yeah, that's
I think
amazing.
that's also been the best part about this, is every time I'm like kind of ashamed, like, oh, I'm a horse girl, to my friends, they're like, when is your show? When can we show up? Can we meet your horse? Like, I want to see you in your element. I'm like,
well, it's cool. I mean, the thing about like, I never even thought about it, because to me it just felt like such a complex thing. Like, and it feels like it's a lot of like hard work that you have to put in to do that. And when I was young, I was like, I'm going to play the trumpet. It's a very light instrument, and I don't have to carry it very far, and it's very easy for me just to sit in my room and do it. But I always like my sister-in-law grew up doing that too. She would go and like take care of horses and ride them for like as like a work trade thing. And she's always loved it. But to me, I'm like, that wouldn't even register as a thing I could think I would do. I'm like, I'm not responsible enough to take care of a horse. That's a live animal. And unlike a cat that's small and you can feed a little can of tuna, it's good for what, 2 or 3 weeks? A horse eats a lot. So that's just like, that's amazing. And they're huge. Tim, you ever seen a horse IRL?
Oh yeah.
They're bigger than you think, bro.
They're massive. Mica,
how often do you see the horse?
3 times a week. 4 if I'm feeling frisky. If I'm like, I just want to go see him.
Does anyone else hang out with him, or is it just
my trainer, there's a thing called a turnout, which is pretty much you let them in the pen and they just get out their energy and they just hang out. And if I'm not there, then my trainer rides him. So he's always a happy boy.
Andy?
I was going to ask Mica, since you did a fantastic job at the E3 PC gaming show.
Oh, thank you.
You are a host and you get called up by all these like companies to go do dope shit. Is your passion for horseback riding and being an equestrian, like if you were called up to have a big gig, but you also had a conflict because you had to do some like show with an equestrian show or whatever, what would you pick? Like how far is this passion going?
It's funny you asked that, because specifically for E3, I had a rehearsal and I was like, I'm gonna have to push that an hour because I have a horseback riding lesson.
You gotta ride the horse.
But if it came to like a show versus a paid gig, I'd probably take the paid gig.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
Because I am a freelancer. But when it comes to, if it's possible, I always ask for rehearsals or filming or something. These are my sacred days. I ride Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays in the morning. If it's possible to not do it Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays in the morning, that would be great. If it's not possible, I'll move my lesson. And because it is a Los Angeles barn, my trainers are really nice about like, hey, sorry,
understand.
Last minute, I got a job. Yeah. Do you mind if we move my dates around? They're super chill about it. But I do try and prioritize. Like, I've also gone to rehearsals like in my barn clothes. Like, I've come from the barn and gone to rehearsals, and I'm like, I know I look a little ridiculous in my breeches and tall boots, but let's just get to work.
We're here. Now, this is a little bit off topic now, but you were talking about the figure skating. Does figure skating exist for inline skates? Because I can't imagine that, but it'd be fucking cool. And if not, I say we add that. I love the Fast and Furious theme park idea for Treasure Island, but if that falls through for whatever reason, I say we turn it into just a massive inline skating utopia.
The whole island.
I think Tim, no bad ideas in the circle of trust and the brain circle.
Thank you.
I think you're just allowed to wear inline skates at the Fast and Furious park. And we accommodate every single ride that it like you go in and it locks your skates in for extra comfort and for extra security. And if you're not wearing skates, you just can't move as fast as everyone else. You know, that's where it's
like Sonic the Hedgehog rules. Like if you're wearing those skates, you got to go fast.
Love it.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, that has been your Kind of Funny podcast for this week. Mica, this has been so much fun catching up with you, even though I feel like we haven't caught up at all. We've just talked like we always do about Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
And that was pretty much it. I would love to bring you back and actually hear some of the other stuff you've been working on lately. I don't think we've seen each other in a few years, but hey, what are you gonna do? It was a phenomenal podcast.
Next time you come on the show, Mica, we got to figure out how to get your dad to be full-time Jeopardy.
Yes, please. Oh, this is when does this come out? When does this happen?
This drops tomorrow.
No. We're ahead of things, so this will come out next Monday.
Ooh, okay.
Perfect. Next Monday is the first day of my dad on Jeopardy, and he will be hosting Jeopardy all of the week. please turn in wherever your local Jeopardy is. It's for us. It's Channel 7 at 7 p.m. I'm not sure where it is for everybody else, but please watch it. Please tweet at Jeopardy. Hey, you know what would be really amazing is if LeVar Burton was the host of Jeopardy. Tell your friends to watch. Tell them to tweet. If that happens, I will post the most embarrassing photo of my dad physically possible. I will find his childhood yearbook photos. Did you want to see LeVar Burton when he was 10? Well, you sure can if he becomes the host of Jeopardy.
I love it.
I love that very much. And ladies and gentlemen, I love you very much. Of course, if you're watching this or listening to this for the first time on any of those fun services, please consider subscribing to us. Hit that like button and then leave a little comment in the comments below letting us know average ticket price you think you'd pay for Fast and Furious Land. Probably going to start around $100, but could we go up to 300? I don't know. Tim Geddes will tell you it's going to be worth it, but leave that comment in the comments below. And of course, if you want to get out there and support us and ask us questions on the show, go over to patreon.com/kindafunny and pack us over there. Every dollar counts, and we love you very, very, very much. For those Patreon supporters right now, we're going to kick it over to the post show. And if you're not one of them, we'll see you next week. Bye.